In this video, I'm going to tell you a story about Brussels' most iconic building at Stadhuis, Hôtel de Ville, the City Hall. I'm Cresco, and welcome to my channel of random videos, some of them about OP, some not so much, all of them shitty, and this is day 3 of the 30-day OP challenge. Right, so this is the City Hall, and it's used for marriages and ceremonies of all kinds, like very official things. So you may notice something about it. The first thing you notice is both wings aren't the same length, you see. This one is longer than the other side. And something else you might notice if you go closer up, you'll see that the hall entryway is not, well, here, look at it for yourself. Can you see something? It's not in line with the rest of the building. You see, there's more space on one side of the door than the other, and that's an architectural mistake. You can see it's not. That's just because the builders were building in different teams and they were not communicating very well, because they're all schrijver-architect is what we call in Bruxelles. The schrijver-architect, these architects are not very straight. They're wonky people. So anyway, the main architect of this building, Jan van Ruysbroek, who started building it in 1401, that's when this building started being built, 1401. He was, the story goes, that he was so distraught, dismayed about the result of this building not being straight and having the wrong sizes, that he actually, because it was his life's work, he walked up to the top of the tower, all the way up to the top, and then whoo, jumped down to his death. Right, well that is the urban legend. Of course, there's a reason for that. I'm going to tell you all about it in great detail. You're going to find it amazing. So originally this building, okay, built in 1400, only had one wing, right? It had the, I can't remember which one, probably the longer one. So it was built with only the longer wing, and the tower was slightly less tall. And that was the original architectural design. And then what happened was there's this rivalry between Brussels and Leuven, which is this Flemish university town. There's this, historic rivalry between the two cities. And the Bruxellois, they saw their building, their city hall, and thought, ooh, that one's slightly more fancy than ours. We want to one-up them. So then they thought, okay, well, let's build another one. So a couple decades later, they decided to build this shorter one here, and extended it as far as they could, but they had to stop at the building, so that's why they're not the same lengths. That's the story about this building. I wanted to tell you something else. Okay, so this is actually one of the oldest buildings in Brussels, because 1400 and something, and all these other buildings around, they have this harmony about them. They've all got this gold gilding, because they were actually built around the same time. Now that's because there was a bombardment of Brussels for 3 days in 1695. Remember that date, 1695. The French, it was bombarded by the French. That's why Belgians hate French people, There was a fire in the whole town because Louis XIV was bombarding us. And so all the buildings around here burnt down and had to be rebuilt. And so all the guilds, these are all guilds, special high committees who wanted to make their own building pop out the most, they all invested a lot of money to make theirs look particularly fancy, and including all the architectural design modernity of the time. But anyway, if you look around, all the dates around the same period. But what's ironic is that Louis XIV was actually aiming at this tower because, it was an icon of Brussels. And so they wanted to destroy us, and all their bombs just missed it. And they destroyed all of Brussels. Everything went down in flames, except for this building, which stood up. And so that's that story. It could have gone. It could have been destroyed. I hope you enjoyed this shitty video, and
in Leuven is het zo plezant. In Leuven is het zo plezant.